Matt Probin is back, this time as he gets ready to compete for XFN in a kickboxing tournament that is going down again October the 9th, and you can catch it on UFC Fight Pass. Matt, how are you?
Good, mate. Good. I just saw your little dog just shoot past there.
Oh yeah. She's a piece of work. I'll tell you what though, she's nothing but love. She needs a little bit of attention, but that's okay. I'm a dog lover.
Yeah,
It's
me too, mate.
not too long since I've seen you. Actually, what, like 2-3 days now? I randomly ran into you down at a Harvest Moon in Newport, and I love Harvest Moon. You got to tell me, like, what is your favorite sandwich, like your go-to when you go there?
So I've only been there a couple of times, to be honest. And I've done the what is it, the bacon care business or whatever. That's always solid, turkey and bacon and spinach and all that fun stuff. The last time when I bumped into you, I was just trying the veggie sandwich. Get those vegetables in, yeah, it's pretty good across the board. You can't really beat it. I can't knock it.
No, you're 100% right. Like, regardless of what you get, it's fantastic. And obviously,
Yeah.
the reason why you were down there, you were getting some work in with Primo at the outlet. Tell me, man, what has training been like for you during this pandemic? It's been quite a while since we've spoken, so run me through what it's been like.
Yeah, so I've been pretty fortunate, to be honest, throughout the whole thing. One with having the key to my own gym and stuff like that. So even when it initially happened and everybody was panicking and nobody was coming in, nobody was training, I was still able to get in there, go get my own work in. I was able to hit the bag and do some weights and stuff, which was a lot more than some other people got to do. So I was definitely thankful for that, for sure. But I honestly, I never skipped a beat, mate. I never stopped. It didn't, I didn't skip a beat. I was constantly going, just staying ready. At this level, you got to stay ready, and then because as soon as an opportunity comes up, you gotta jump at it, you gotta snatch it.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, you're primarily down in Southern Maine at Recon, and then you're coming up to the outlet with Primo and Josh and all those guys there. What is that dynamic like? Like, how many times are you coming up my way, and how much work you're getting in down at Recon?
Yeah, so Recon obviously is my home base. I live here in Portland too. I teach there multiple times a week. Yeah, Recon's amazing, but yeah, my coach Primo Bellarosa is up in like Dexter, Maine area, up near the Bangor area right now. So I go up there. What I've been doing just to save the driving, because I was coming down like 3 times a week, but it's like sometimes almost a 2-hour drive each way. That's like 4 or 5 hours of driving a day. So it was getting quite a bit. So what I do now is I just come down Monday morning, get a training session in Monday morning with him, train again Monday evening. I stay over at Primo's house. We talk about fights. We eat, and then I go train with him a couple more times on Tuesday, and then I head back on Tuesday. So then that way it kind of stops me from doing so many trips and stuff, and it works out. And like I said, I've got Primo up there who is just such an incredible coach. Let me tell you about that guy, just holding me accountable. It's so nice. I've been as far as my striking, obviously I'm the striking, the Muay Thai coach at Recon and here in Portland and stuff. So I have somewhat plateaued, if you will, when it comes to striking. Obviously I was over in Thailand, and you just can't not get good in Thailand. The coaching staff and the fighters over there are just incredible. So you get back from Thailand, and then now you're in Maine and New England, where there isn't much of a big Muay Thai scene. So I mean, I stayed very consistent, stayed on top of the game for sure, but with Primo now, I'm just hitting different levels, which is just it's incredible. So I'm excited. I don't even know what I'm going to do in the fight. Who knows? I'm excited to see what happens. I know I'm definitely putting people out. That's for sure.
Well, that's really exciting too for me personally, because when we were talking to at the Harvest Moon, you were saying that you really appreciate what Primo does for you, that he can redirect you and get on you and kind of help tweak your style. When a lot of people feel like, well, you're pretty experienced, like maybe they shouldn't redirect you because you already know your stuff, and he's holding you accountable. I mean, that's really just got to elevate your game.
100%. I've always gravitated and always appreciated people that can hold me accountable. Just people in general, people that can help hold you accountable, hold themselves accountable. I've always got a lot of time for, and that's definitely something Primo is great at. And like you said, yeah, I will. I'll go to certain gyms or I'll go training and stuff, and I know I'm throwing a lazy jab because I can get away with it, right? But that, some other coaches aren't being like, hey, why are you throwing a lazy jab? Primo is on me. I am not missing he's not missing a beat. That guy is like the all-seeing eye. He is just on it. If I daren't throw a lazy jab, I know. Even if he goes to the bathroom, you'll see it. I don't know how he does it. Doesn't it? He can be in the bathroom taking a pee, and I'll throw a lazy jab and go, hey, Probin. He's on it, So it's it's good. It's definitely good to have him. And I think we're gonna take over the world,
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. I spoke to Chris Young fairly recently, and he was telling me, just how great of a coach Primo is and how he's the utmost respect for him. I mean, he's been sending, one of his star pupils, Glory Watson, down there to get working with him as well. So, you're clearly in great company. As far as Recon goes, I mean, you're kind of like, I guess, an adopted member of the New England cartel, right? Because you got Calvin and Rob and these guys coming up, getting working. Tell me what that's been like.
Yeah, I mean those guys are incredible too. Just to be around that caliber of athlete and just the mindset those guys bring to. I mean, you can't be at the top of the game like that and not have such a strong mindset. So that rubs off really well. I haven't seen them too much as of recently. Rob was recovering from a knee injury. And obviously Recon is a lot of like wrestling and that kind of stuff too. So they mainly come down for wrestling and some striking with me. But so Rob's knee's been out a little bit, and then obviously Calvin's nose was a little jacked up. I mean, I think it adds character to him. You know what I mean? It looks good. It suits him. But Calvin's nose was out of it for a little bit. So I haven't seen those guys too much for this fight camp. But yeah, it's always great having those guys around and being part of that little New England cartel.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about that. Now, you're so used to winning, Matt. I'm really interested to talk to you about your last couple of competitions. Obviously, your last MMA match was to Tim Dooling. That didn't go your way. Then you competed for CES Boxing, and you didn't get a decision. Just tell me, where's your head at right now? When you suffer a couple of setbacks, especially someone like yourself that's been in combat sports for as long as you have, how do you deal with that adversity, put it behind you, and move forward?
So for me, it's fantastic. I mean, everybody's different though. You know what I mean? Everyone's different. But for me, I need a loss every now and then. It's nice to be humbled. It's nice to know and to just know the mistakes. And here's the thing: when you're fighting at such a high level too, the margin for error is so small. The margin for error is so small. So one small mistake, like the Tim Dooling fight, I made a mistake. I made one. I believe I was winning the fight. Everybody told me I was winning the fight. It was a good fight. Don't get me wrong. Tim Dooling's great. Fantastic fighter, fantastic guy. But I made a mistake, and it cost me the fight. I just didn't step it up, and that is such a good driving force to have behind you. You know what I mean? Going into fights to be coming off a loss like that. I personally I thrive off it. Whereas some people it can make them question, make them doubt. It's quite the opposite for me. It just lights a fire at my ass. It's time to go. And then even with that boxing match too, everybody was telling me I won that boxing match. I thought I won the boxing match. I was trying to just push the fight the whole time in his face, walking him down. Like every boxing match I've ever had, they just jab and run, jab and run, jab and run. I'm like, fucking, what do you, fight me. Let's go. Let's make it a fight. So I thought I won that fight. Everybody thought I won that fight. It is what it is, boxing. And I've never anticipated. I never thought I was going to be a boxing world champion or the best in the world of boxing. I just like to scrap, mate. You know what I mean? I like to have a good fight. It was a good fight. I enjoyed it. But kickboxing, Muay Thai, I mean, that's really my bread and butter. Everybody knows that. Love MMA too. Don't get me wrong. Love MMA. If Bellator comes back around, I'll jump on that. But kickboxing and MMA, I mean, kickboxing and Muay Thai has really been my bread and butter. In fact, I'm completely undefeated in kickboxing and Muay Thai. Never lost, and I don't intend to either. I'm just so comfortable there. It really is. I'm just so comfortable. I'm so relaxed. It's just my world. I don't know, and it just seems to to come across when I'm fighting. Like, it's hard to explain, but I make everybody feel like they're stepping into my world and that they don't belong, you know? And that's how I feel when I'm kickboxing. I'm like, all right, in my world now, like,
Right.
you know, don't stay too long.
This next opportunity, we're going to get into that here shortly, but you're going to really have a chance to really blow your star out of the water. I mean, there's some great fighters in this tournament that you're going to compete against, so I'm really intrigued to hear your thoughts on that. But first, I just want to backtrack to that Dooling fight. I hope you don't feel like I'm like a bad luck charm, because you came out to the music that I selected, and that was your first loss in an MMA match. So I'm a little bummed, man. You're in Jersey, coming out to Redman, some Brick City stuff. So did you at least get to the vibe of excitement from the crowd when you came out to that song?
So no, it definitely wasn't you. I don't believe in any of that stuff anyway, to be honest. Well, you know what was so weird about that fight, right? Is I felt nothing at all. Like the whole weekend, like I don't know. You get to a point where like I'm really comfortable in fights, but I think I was too comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I never picked it up. I never got out of first gear the whole fight. And I remember like even the whole weekend before, like it didn't feel like I was in a fight. Weigh-ins didn't feel like I was in a fight. So I'm in the back, I'm warming up, you know, and I'm like, all right. I was like, any minute now I'll get going. Go step out there, you know, nothing. Didn't really feel anything. I was like, okay, when he hits me, you know what I mean, I'll get going. That normally happens. Like I'm a bit, you know. So he comes out, hits me with a jab, and I still didn't get going. I was like, okay, well, when he hits me with a good shot, I'll get going. Still didn't happen. You know, first round, I'm in the corner. I'm like, all right, okay. So that was a good round. That was fun, but I pick it up a bit, Matt. You know, you haven't even stepped out of first gear. I'm just cruising, really. Um, still just didn't step out of first gear. Just didn't pick it up. Just didn't feel anything. And I remember I made that mistake, and he took my back, and there was a minute left, and he had the rear naked choke in. And all I'm thinking, right, while he's choking me out, all I'm thinking is like, all right, Matt, once you get out of this, go nuts. Like, just go nuts. It's like, you still got a bunch of energy. I took that fight in like 5 days notice, but I still had a bunch of energy. I wasn't tired, you know what I mean? I never got out of first gear. So all I was thinking is like, all right, once you get out of this choke, just finish him. Go nuts. You know you can do it. You know you can do it. Like, come on. So I'm just trying to I was trying to like gas myself up in my own fight, you know what I mean? Which was just weird. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. Excuses. I've definitely made the changes I've needed to make, so that doesn't happen again. And honestly, in kickboxing too, this is what I'm doing now. My next fight, kickboxing. I don't need to gas myself up. I'm far too excited. Far too excited.
Why do you think that happened in the Dueling fight? Is there a reason you can point to? Is there just something that maybe you didn't do pre-fight to get yourself into that mindset, or is it just is what it is?
So I could make excuses, right? I mean, actually, I was going through a divorce at the time. I was going through a divorce. I was moving houses. I was moving apartments. There was a bunch going on behind the scenes, right? But all that is excuses. You know what I mean? I'm big on accountability. So I want to hold myself accountable for that and not make any excuses. And I just didn't show up. I just didn't show up, and he did. Good for him. I like the guy a lot. I'd love to run it back. I've been trying to run that fight back for a while. So hopefully we can run that back at some point. Just because it was a great fight, fun fight. I think Tim's a good guy. I mean, we keep in contact. We gas each other up on social media. Cool guy. If I get to kick him in the neck again, I'd love to. That'd be great. Let's do it. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna take accountability for that. I made some mistakes. It won't happen again. And yeah, I'm ready to smash it, mate.
Gotcha. Well, I know everyone would love to see that rematch. That was a very highly entertaining fight right up until it got stopped there. But yeah, glad to hear that things are moving better for you now. And let's talk about this upcoming event, XFN. It's going to be all the way down at a casino in Oklahoma. So when are you going to be making the trip down there?
Yeah, so I just found out I'm going to be flying out there. I'm going to be going down the Wednesday, the day before weigh-ins. I'm already on weight. Don't have to cut weight. I feel fucking great. I feel great. It's fantastic. Get to eat. Get to be big. Oh, it's good. I love it. So yeah, don't have to really worry about weight cut or anything. That's good. That's fun. So I'll get there on the Wednesday. We'll weigh in Thursday. I'll fight 3 times on Friday night, and then I will get wheeled onto the plane on Saturday and wheeled up my 3 flights of stairs back to my apartment. And yeah, but it'll be good because I'll be a champion, so I'll be a winner, so it'll be worth it.
So have they COVID tested you yet? Tell me what that's going to be like. Are they going to quarantine you when you get there, test you numerous times? Have they explained that?
No, they haven't really too much, to be fair. Well, I know it's like on Indian land, Indian reservation and stuff. So I'm not really sure how strict they are. I do believe the last show I watched, the last tournament he had, which I think was in August, and they had a crowd. Like it looked like they might have been like social distancing in the crowd, but they were still selling tickets and stuff, I guess, which is good. You know, like good. Like let's bring the world back a little bit. You know, like I get it, but it's nice. It's going to be nice to have a bit of noise in the crowd. So I'm excited for that. I'm sure. I don't know if they're going to be probably COVID testing us when we get there on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm not really too sure, but you know, we'll just play it by ear.
Have they confirmed, or do you know if there will be fans this time, or are you just assuming that there will be because of the last event?
I'm just assuming. Yeah, I'm just assuming because the last event they haven't confirmed that actually. But I mean, regardless, fans, no fans, it doesn't matter. It's going to be on UFC Fight Pass. I'm going to have a bunch of people watching it at home. There's actually going to be like multiple watch parties all throughout Portland. There's going to be some bars and restaurants playing it. You know, it's going to be fun. So I'm going to have a bunch of people watching at home. So fans, no fans, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go do my thing anyway.
You know, Frank Mir is going to be doing the broadcast here for this event. I mean, what does that mean to you, man? I mean, he's a legend in the sport, you know, like that's got to make you feel pretty good that he's going to be calling one of your fights.
Yeah, no, obviously big fan of Frank. It's going to be nice, and he's actually going to get to interview me 3 times because each time I win, he's going to get to interview me. So I'm sure me and Frank are going to become good mates by the end of it. So yeah, no, obviously big fan of Frank, and I still do, you know, like I'm still a fanboy at the end of the day when it comes to all that sort of stuff. I remember when I was fighting in Bellator and you know, bumping into Chael Sonnen and shaking hands, talking to him, and having Big John McCarthy calling my fight, and Goldie, you know what I mean, McCarthy and Goldie calling my fights. So it was cool, you know. So it'll be fun to meet Frank and to get interviewed by him a few times and have him crown me the new champ.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny. I was just down at the last Bellator event, and I got to shake hands with Renzo Gracie and Gilbert Melendez, and I was like, "Wow, what is
That's
going on?"
that's
This is.
dope, right? So
Uh,
cool.
Tell me, man. Like you have such an extensive background with the kickboxing. Have you ever fought 3 times in one night before? Will this be your first?
This will be the first. I've always wanted to do it, mate. Always wanted to do it. I mean, it's old school K1 Grand Prix style. You know what I mean? Like old school UFC style. You know, tournament style. 3 times in one night. Something I've always wanted to do, and it's I'm definitely because I mean I'm coming at every fight like it's my last. You know what I mean? I'm going balls to the wall from bell to bell. Each fight, I'm not trying to like maintain myself or anything for the next fight. That's not happening. So I'm just going. So I'm already telling myself, you know, going into the second fight, I'm gonna be banged up. Going into the third fight, I'm gonna be banged up. I'm probably gonna have holes in my shins. My shins are gonna be bleeding. My arms are gonna be bleeding. My face is gonna be bleeding. My knuckles are gonna be bleeding. And I'm okay with that. I can't wait. I'm pumped. That excites me. Like I love having to go through some sort of adversity in a fight, you know. And I'll definitely have multiple forms of adversity on that night. And I can't wait. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be. I've always wanted to do it.
So the matchups have not been announced yet. Hopefully, they're going to do that at least a couple of days before you guys actually step inside and scrap. But this is a really good group of fighters here. Obviously, you know, you got yourself, you got Brian Foster, you got Peter Stanonik, Jermaine Soto, and the 2018 XFN winner, Alfred Walker, is in this tournament as well. Is there someone that stands out to you that you feel like is the guy to beat? And is there someone specific that you're hoping that you can get in the first round, or someone you'd like to meet if you do make it to the finals?
Yeah, there's one guy to beat, and that's me. All right, I'm the guy to beat for sure. So honestly, it doesn't matter because they're all good. They are all good. I've got to give my props off to XFN. They did a fantastic job. They've got like a bunch of they've got some top 5 glory guys in there. You know what I mean? That they pulled out all the stops for this one, which is exactly what I want. Like, I don't want to go in there against some mediocre guys. I want the top competition. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I do this, to to show how good I am. So yeah, I'm pumped, and it doesn't matter which way you look in the tournament. Like, no fight's gonna be easy, you know. So it doesn't matter who I get first, who I get last, who I get in the. It doesn't matter. I'm not even looking into them too much. I know they're all good. That like they're all really really good. I know a few things about some of the fighters, you know, like there's a couple of southpaws, you know. But at the end of the day, like it's when you're fighting, you're fighting yourself. You know what I mean? It doesn't. When you start training and prepping for a certain style of opponent or whatever, then you're training for them. You know what I mean? Like they should be worried about me. They should be training for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna go out, do my thing. Doesn't matter who they put in front of me. They could put Frank Mir in front of me. Doesn't matter. We're going. You know.
Is there a different mindset though when you know you could be fighting 3 times in one night, where you might want to try and, I don't want to say conserve energy, but go about the fight in a certain tactical way to make sure that you don't take any unnecessary damage? Or just run me through that, because this is very very different. It's a little bit more complex when you think about it. Fighting 3 times in one night.
Yeah, so I thought about that and I was like, all right, well, maybe should I maybe try and like save this? No, because here's the thing, right? I'm not gonna get into the second fight or the third fight if I don't win that first fight. You know what I mean? So I'm going into that first fight like it is my only fight, my last fight. So I'm just gonna look at every single fight like that is just my only fight ever, or the last fight. That's all I'm going in as, and then I'll just take it from there. I'll go rub some salt in the wounds in between rounds and warm up, and I'll get ready for the next one. And because here's the thing, I don't think after every fight I've ever had, I've always been like, oh, sick, let's go again. I can fight again. You know what I mean? Like, always. So that's how I'm going into it. I'm just going to go into it like each fight at a time. I'm just going balls to the wall. Just going to try to finish everyone. And yeah, we'll just go from there. Like I said, I know like I'm preparing myself mentally to be banged up, to be sore. You know what I mean? Definitely preparing myself mentally. Like, who knows? I might go into the third round. I might not be able to throw my right kick. That's all. But that's okay, because guess what? I've got a bunch of other weapons. So yeah, I'm preparing myself mentally for some pain, for sure. That's all it is. It's just pain. It'll be fine. We're all good. It's all gravy.
Yeah, that's temporary. Now,
Exactly.
this will be at 155 pounds. You said you're already on weight, and you told me previously here in this interview that you're undefeated as a kickboxer. Do you know what your record is right now?
So 4-0 as a pro in Thailand with 4 knockouts. That's my pro record. And then I don't know, mate. I had 8 or 9 amateur kickboxing Muay Thai fights in England, including winning the British amateur kickboxing title. So yeah, and not only am I undefeated in kickboxing and Muay Thai, all apart from one. I've only ever had one fight go the distance. All the other ones have all been knockouts, all been finishes. So I've got like a 95% knockout rate when it comes to Muay Thai and kickboxing. So I definitely intend to keep that going.
How much confidence does that give you going into this tournament?
It does. I mean, you got to be careful with confidence, right? It's a double-edged blade. But I am confident in kickboxing in general. When I say you can stick the best guys in the world in there with me, and I'm not. Well, I know. I've been there. I've trained with them. I've sparred with them. I've fought them. I mean, the last guy I fought in Thailand was 55-10 as a pro with 47 knockouts, and I knocked him out. So it doesn't. I know for a fact you can put whoever in there with me, and yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely confident when it comes to kickboxing. Definitely try to be humble with it too. And I know for a fact each and every single one of those guys are going to give me a good fight. But I'm going to make them work for every single minute that they're in there with me. And at the end of the day, I love it too. I can promise you that whoever I'm fighting, however good they are more than likely not going to be enjoying being in that cage with me as much as I'm enjoying being in that with them. Does that make sense?
Of course, and I can tell you right now, I mean, I've had UFC Fight Pass for quite some time now, but I will not be missing this October 9th on UFC Fight Pass, XFN, kickboxing lightweight tournament, Matt Probin. 10 grand goes to the winner of this. So if you win, man, or I guess I should say when you win, what are you going to do with that money? You going to get some more ink, or you going to invest? What are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely getting some more ink. Just moved into a new apartment not too long ago with my girl, a wonderful girlfriend. So definitely put some money into the apartment. Put some money into maybe a new car, stuff like that, just so I can travel a little bit more and just keep the ball rolling. It doesn't. 10 grand is just the start. I'm gonna win this tournament, right? That's 10 grand right there. Sweet, perfect. I'll take it. Here's the thing though, if they told me they were gonna pay me $500 for this tournament, I'd do it. It doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter. Like it's a nice little payday. I'm not mad about it at all. I'm gonna have to earn it though. 3 fights in one night. I'm gonna earn that 10 grand. That's for sure. But like I said, if they were gonna pay me $500 for it, I'd do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't. That doesn't really matter so much. But yeah, do I already have some plans for that money? Yeah, why not? Definitely gonna get some more ink. You know me, Ryan. But yeah, and then I'm just trying to campaign. So once I win this tournament at 55, I'm gonna try campaign to make them do a 45 tournament. I'll win that too. I'll have 20 grand. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. And
That's how it works.
as far as what is next, I'm assuming, regardless of what happens, you're going to probably take a little time off after this tournament, heal up, get back to 100%. And then are you thinking about, jumping back in to MMA? I know Bellator is going overseas for a little while, but they're going to be back at the Mohegan Sun in October. And I think they're going to be set up shop right there for the remainder of the year. You mentioned, Tim Dooling rematch. Would you like to get on a Bellator card with him, or is there someone else you have in mind?
That would be dope. I definitely wouldn't turn down like, oh, me and Tim on Bellator. That'd be sick. You know what I mean? And the fans would love that. We're definitely both fan friendly fighters. So that would be sick. For me, I mean, my main, I mean, me and Primo, we talk about vision and where we're going with this, and the main focus is kickboxing and Muay Thai. Now, however, it's a little different at the moment with the world as it is. Things are difficult, so it's not quite. There's a bit of grey area when it comes to what's next, because who knows? You know what I mean? There might be another lockdown, might be another shutdown. All I know is I'm just going to continue grinding away, continue improving, and taking every and any opportunity I can get. XFN so far seem to be keeping up pretty regular. So once I win this tournament, I know they're going to want to have me back. So maybe we can get something going on with them. Bellator, yeah, Bellator. If I get a call from Bellator, I'm not missing that. And then yeah, just trying to set up some more kickboxing, some more Muay Thai tournaments, and then eventually, yeah, just make it into the big leagues. You'll see me on one championship soon enough.
Woo, that would be fantastic. I have no doubt. Matt, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Clearly, you're a great fighter, regardless of what the genre is, whether it's MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever it may be. You clearly are very elite at any and all of them. But you know what? I think you're an even better person. Every time that I run into you and I talk to you, man, you're nothing but a gentleman. So I sincerely appreciate your time as always. Before I do let you go, if there's anyone you want to thank or any sponsors you have or social media you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. No, I appreciate you. Well, thank you, Ryan, for having us, and thanks for these podcasts that you do. We all appreciate it. It's good to have a platform. So obviously, I definitely want to thank my coach Primo Bellarosa, who's been putting a lot of time in with me for this camp. I am fortunate enough to have him in my corner and to have him as a coach. My whole Team Recon, John Dupree, all those guys at Team Recon. Josh Harvey for being a great training partner from the beginning of this camp. He's been there through the whole thing. Aaron Waite, my training partner. Bunch of sponsors. Got my tattoo sponsorship. Tori at Dark Harbor. But you know what? I'm actually going into this one kind of old school. I'm not even really worrying too much about the sponsors and stuff like that. Like I'm just laser vision on the fight, putting these knuckles on some chins, wrapping my shin across some necks. And I can't wait. It's going to be good. And it's going to be on UFC Fight Pass October 9th. It'd be rude not to. It'd be rude not to tune in. Why not? I promise. Like, what a good night! Like, this is gonna be such a good night of fights. It's gonna be so fun. Kickboxing tournament. Who doesn't love a kickboxing tournament? You know.
For sure. Well, you can bet I'm going to be tuning in, no doubt about it. So again, October the 9th, XFN, Matt Probin taking on, who knows who he's taking on, but it's going to be a kickboxing tournament on UFC Fight Pass, and you don't want to miss it. Again, Matt, I appreciate the time, my man, and I look forward to doing this again soon.
Yeah, appreciate it as always, buddy. Thank you so much.